Hello there, Maddie from Hello Interloper here with the latest in Defender of Texel news. This is my first video actually going over a Defender of Texel event, and unfortunately, because it's a brand new event, it's the Siege event, which was just actually introduced today at about 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's US time. Because it's new, basically, there's no info on the wiki, so I'm pretty much going to have to explain it completely myself, and unfortunately, we're not going to be getting the full stats and everything on all the new fighters and everything, but, I'll do my best. So, first things first, let me tell you guys about a little update. Now, I'm sure you guys remember, if you watched my last episode that I uploaded, I believe, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, something like that. I was talking about the promotion called Salutes and Loots, which was brought back for the past event. And basically what you do is you salute your friends on your friends list, and they salute you back. And if you fill up a bar with the red being the ones that you sent, the light red being the ones that you received, fill it up, you get a trust level. As you can see here, that's a trust level 1. But for every trust level you get, both you and the friend on the friends list get 3 Nux bits, which of course is pretty awesome. I mean, any time you get free Nux bits is great. It's pretty much the equivalent to bugles in Blood Brothers, because you basically use BP in this game, or as in Blood Brothers, morale, for just about everything. So, pretty cool. Get things for free. Always good to have, and you can do well in events if you get as many Nux bits as possible. So that being said, make sure you check that every single day to maximize your Nux bits inflow. But let's go over the new event now. Now, first things first, as much as I'd like to talk about the fighters, let's talk about the event itself. Now, this is pretty much how it works. You log in, and you'll be put into a host, and you'll be given a bit of a tutorial on how this all works. Of course, if you kind of skip through it, you don't really know how to do it, but I'll explain it the best way I can. So, you can listen to the tutorial and then also get a little tutorial from me. So, basically, this is your host page. It's kind of similar to the raid boss group here. You put into a host, this is your team's points, the other team's points, and then this is kind of a visualization of it as a bar with these little dots here signifying where the middle point would be. And then there's how many conquests or defeated castles you have. Of course, my team is losing, boo-hoo. But then, of course, the MVP list, comments, and prizes. Now, prizes are kind of subjective here because it depends on your host quality. And they're not exactly completely clear on what host quality means, but it's safe to assume that it means how good your host is among all other hosts. And unfortunately, my host, not exactly that great, so we have the clay rewards here, with Crystal being the best, and that's actually a familiar that does evolve into a legendary. It's the, what is it called? The leadership board, what is it called? Reward, yes. But of course, I'll go over the familiars in a little bit. First, I want to go over with the game board itself. So let's go back here, click on the host, and press go. So here is the event board, and as you can see, nobody is actually attacking. If somebody was attacking one of these castles here, we would see actual fighters attacking these little dudes. Now, this is how it's supposed to work, and this is where this event is actually extremely flawed and imbalanced, and who knows if it's going to be fixed, because I know that they are in the process of balancing it out a little bit, but so far since the beginning of the day, I've not seen anything change here. Basically, this is supposed to be the biggest castle, with this being the smallest castle. So it's safe to assume that the small one is supposed to be the easiest, the large one is supposed to be the hardest. Now, my team consists of a few 5 out of 5 Ceph epics. Rest are, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, something like that. So, basically, you would think that I'd be able to do a hard one. So let's check out the opponents here. Basically how this works is you're given 3 opponents from the opposite team, and it's basically like having 3 PvP battles in a row where you can't heal, and all of your your skill procs carry over to the next battle. and so do your deaths, unfortunately. So as you can see, this looks pretty tough. I mean, we've got preempt all guys. I think this guy's got sting all, I'm not really sure. But basically pretty tough. Now, I could choose no edge, which of course costs 1 BP. That's 1 BP to fight all 3 of these. So it's a little bit different than PvP battles. Rather than spending 1 BP for each, you spend 1 BP for all. Or you could spend 3 BP to get a 300% stat bonus, which is nice, and then you get a 150% points bonus. But of course, that means a lot more BP used for a lot less. Now, so this looks pretty tough. So I'm going to check out the second one here. Alright, so this looks a little bit easier. We don't really have preempt guys. I mean, grooves are kind of tough, and, you know, of course, then we got a rogue here, and, oh, and Zuna, that's not too good. Shouldn't be, that hard, should it? It's supposed to be easier than the other one. So let's go to the smallest one now. I'm going to go click it, and oh boy, how is this any easier than in the other two? We've got preempt, you know, is this the exact same guy? That is the exact same guy from the toughest one. And then, of course, I have to fight a legendary. Let me just zoom into that for a second. That is a legendary. I have to fight a legendary on the supposedly the easiest difficulty? Tell me how that's fair at all. So basically, this is the big issue. There's absolutely no balance to this whatsoever. The easiest one is not the easiest. The hardest is not the hardest. It's all over the place. Now, unfortunately, this is cut off a little bit because unfortunately BlueStacks, the program I'm using to emulate an Android phone right now, they have a little bit of resolution problems with Defender of Texel. This is the best I can get it, so unfortunately this is cut off. But basically, the number here signifies how many sentries, or, you know, people that need to be fought, are currently existing before we get to attack the castle itself. Now, the castle is where you get the big points, and where you get points that actually count on the leaderboard here. Now, see over here, if I click here, you can see the total points. Now, this is where we kind of see the total points for, it's the attacking, like killing the actual sentries points, and then the score is from the castles themselves. So as you can see, this person killed mostly castles because, you know, the score is pretty similar to the points. And then meanwhile, you can see this guy has attacked less castles and more sentries here because total 35,024. So basically 11,000 of his points were from sentries rather than castles. So if you don't attack any castles once they're vulnerable, you have to kill all the sentries first, you basically will not be on the leaderboards here, and you have no chance of getting MVP, which is pretty disappointing. Now, unfortunately, there is no back button here, so I have to click home, and for whatever reason, my scaling little device has gone away. You don't know how many times I've actually re-recorded this because of that happening, but I'm very far into this. I'm not going to redo it. Basically, I can't move the scaling of this anymore. But let me go back to the host thing here. And as I was saying, the prize is subjective with the ranking, which is kind of annoying, but because we have a low quality group here. But as you see, there's 17 sentries here, 50 sentries here, 10 sentries here. So it's easiest to get to this castle, but of course this castle will give you the least amount of points. This castle giving you the most amount of points, but because the sentries are basically the same difficulty throughout, it's kind of annoying. Because you think that this would be easier, this would be harder. No. So that's pretty much where they have to really work on for this. But let's talk a little bit about the fighters, because there have been new fighters that have been introduced, and there are a lot of recolors. Now, let's go over here. There, of course, are point prizes. Depending on how many points you do get some prizes like rares, uncommons, some more Texite for the milestone build and whatnot. But let's go over some of the actual guys here. So unfortunately, I can't move this screen up, otherwise I would show you more about this. But this is Govad, and he has Star Strike, which is not what you think. It's not star striking, it's actually a morning star, which of course is a weapon that is a big ball of spikes. So it apparently leaves every enemy sapped and one starstruck, and I'm not really sure what starstruck means or what sapped means, but basically it does a lot of damage. That's all you really need to know for now. Now, I'm going to scroll down a little bit so I can show you these guys. These guys have edged stats. I'm pressing the stupid arrow and it's not going anywhere. Come on. Work with me here. Work with me. There we go. Oh my gosh, it was delayed. Okay, let me scroll here. So then we have, well, this guy, while he's new. Oh my goodness, can you just please scroll down? You're really going to be difficult with me? Oh my god, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, I'm sorry about this. This is annoying. Oh, here we go. If I click and drag. Okay, so yeah, we have a recolor here of the ice dude. The ice yeti that was, what was it, Tuya born, I think? Something like that. But his name is now Rosa Christie, and he is a shock, lightning-based, electric, whatever, guy. And, of course, this is edged stats. So, of course, it's going to be half of all this when it's maxed. A little bit disappointing because they're really not that great fighter-wise. I mean, this guy, he's got a pretty high defense, so it could be used for some fusion, but... And, of course, this is a recolor, again. And then the leaderboard prizes. Now, this guy is pretty darn cool. It is a crab. And, as he evolves, he has broadside, by the way, which is a new attack. It rakes all enemies with intolerable fire from an exo cannon. So it kind of follows the same theme with, I believe his name is Scarpia is the epic version. It was like a lion with these cannons and everything. Pretty much Texel fighters outfitted with exo weapons, which is pretty crazy. And as you can see, he turns into a crazy gun-covered shocky crab. It's pretty crazy, but he's got some nice stats, and these are max stats and with no edge. I mean, he's got a lot of attack. But he seems to be a warlock because he has high wisdom, which is kind of strange, but, you know, what can you do? Then with points prizes, we've got, unfortunately, another recolor, and this guy's not that great, honestly. Not that the previous coloration was that great either. But he's got a small edge, 150, not 200 like the other dudes. And then we got this guy, another recolor. But kind of interesting, because he kind of looks like he's made out of blood, and then his evolution's got some pretty crazy coloration here. Got the cyan glow and everything. But Grime, of course, is an earth-related spell here. So it's very strange because it's a natural skill, but seems to be, I guess he's a rogue, honestly. Although it kind of looks kind of guru-ish as well. Who knows, actually, because never really see a guru with a natural skill rather than a magic skill. Anyway, that being said, this guy's also a warlock. So that's pretty much all you really need to know about this event. Who knows if they're going to balance it out. Honestly, it's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. I thought there would be more to it, rather than just kind of a rehashed PvP event. But who knows? They got to balance it out. They have to figure out how on earth this whole quality thing works. Because, I mean, my host isn't that great, but it certainly has been completely lazy, and yet I'm still ranked as Clay. So that's a little annoying. Of course, I haven't really been participating in much because there just really isn't a lot of team effort. But, yeah, pretty interesting nonetheless. Hopefully we'll see things get fixed as time goes on. Anyway, good luck everybody, and hopefully all will go well for you in this event. And maybe we'll see some balancing going on later. Take care, everyone.